Madam Clerk, it's 7 p.m. You can begin.
Thank you, Mayor. It is 7 o'clock. This meeting is called to order. We will have our roll call. Councilman Nathaniel Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman Rebecca Perone
Present.
and Mayor Councilwoman Worthy has an excused absence tonight. Deputy Mayor Samantha Whitfield
Present.
and Mayor Kia McIntosh.
Present.
Let us pray. Father God, it's in the name of Jesus, we come and give your name glory, honor, and praise, Lord. We ask that the council members here tonight would meet and discuss things, Lord, according to your will, according to your way, oh God. They would disagree to agree, oh God. God, we pray that everything would be done decency and in order. Bless each and every one of them, bless our community. It's in the blessed name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We will now have our flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting was provided in the following manner. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal complex and was mailed to the Burlington County Times, the Intelligencer, and the Courier Times. Advance written notice of this meeting was filed with the township clerk. The clerk is directed to enter into the minutes of this meeting, this public announcement.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. It's good I hope everyone's having a great summer. Before we get it started, I did just want to acknowledge, over the summer, July 13th, we lost a pillar in our community, Mr. Matthew Allen Williams, also known as Bear Williams, 41 years old, but was a great influence and presence, a brother, friend, and father to many. So I did just want to take a moment of silence for him. And also I would be remiss to not acknowledge our Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver, who passed away today. So I just want to take a moment of silence for the both of them. Thank you. And may their light continue to shine and they continue to influence us and also help us to be better people in the society. Thank you. Mr. Harris, you can get started with the municipal update.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the governing body, members of the community. This is my report, which is a summary report of our activities for the month of July. Finance generated as of July 24th in Willingboro was $2,449,728.10. 2.3 million of which was tax revenue. 178,000 was from other revenue sources. And we did disperse $3,273,775 to the Willingboro Board of Education, which was the collection of their taxes. As many of you know or may not understand, the township is the collector of taxes for the school board and for the county. They are their own taxing authorities and levy their own taxes, but it is the township's obligation to collect those taxes on behalf of those authorities and then submit them to the county and the school board at regular intervals. So this is what we do. I know sometimes there's a lot of question and confusion about the taxes, the school taxes, and a lot of residents think that this body has control over those. But those are levied by the school board. And then we are just responsible for the collection of those taxes. So it's important, that residents, you participate in these meetings, but it's important that you also participate in school board meetings and go to county meetings as well, because on those two levels, those are the ones who control those taxes, not necessarily this board. So I just wanted to, just touch about that. I know we had spoken about it before, but I know there's still a lot of questions about that in the public, and we're willing to answer any questions that we can for any resident at any time. From our Fire and EMS Department, the 9th Annual Youth Fire Academy concluded on Friday, the 21st of July. There was a record 30 cadets this year that graduated on July the 22nd at the Fire and EMS building. Over the 2 weeks, the candidates attended a fire academy style training program, which was designed to expose them to the many different aspects that can be found in the fire and emergency services community. And we just want to extend our congratulations to all of the 30 candidates for making this year's program a success. And we like to thank Chief Burnett and his team for the dedication that they serve or provide in putting in these programs for the benefits of our youth in the community. In line with that, there is a free Heart Saver CPR AED training for the first 100 Willingboro residents, which will be announced shortly. The first session will begin on Saturday, August the 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Signups will be available on once the official notice goes out to the public, but I understand that the public already heard about it and has been signing up rather quickly. Classes will be limited to 12 persons per session, and only one session will be required to receive certification. So if you are a Willingboro resident and would like to have CPR certification, I will let you know that the CPR AED card will be paid for courtesy of the Willingboro Volunteer Emergency Squad. For the first 100 residents that pass the course, they will receive those certification cards for free. And we just want to thank the Willingboro Volunteer Fire Emergency Squad for joining up with the Willingboro EMS and Fire Department once again on this important campaign. Upcoming events, the fire departments. Jackson, are you going to cover these upcoming events? Okay, thank you. Our inspections department, a total of 975 inspections were completed during the month of July. There were 461 violations that were given during the month. There were a total of 10 summonses, 477 complaints or compliances were closed out, and there were 37 extensions given. Total revenue generated for the month is $86,695. And I do want to thank Mr. Tunstall and his department, who is actively going out and monitoring violations and situations regards to property maintenance and things like that in Willingboro Township. They don't get them all the time, but as you can see by the numbers, they're getting a lot of them. So if you see anything that you think needs to be addressed, please utilize the Willingboro app, the Willingboro Connect, and feel free to report it, and we will get to it as quickly and as efficiently as we can. In our public safety, there are 2 speed trailers that are being placed within the community. One will be at Beverly Rancocas Road by Windsor Lane, monitoring the traffic traveling east on Beverly Rancocas Road. This trailer has been in place since June the 21st, and the data collected there so far from June the 21st through the 25th of July that is traveling east past this sign is as follow. The average speed on that road is 40.48 miles per hour. where the posted speed is 40 miles per hour. 85% of the vehicles passing the sign are traveling under 46.6 miles per hour. And the total volume of vehicles that have passed the sign during that time period was 246,665 vehicles. The average vehicles per day is 7,048. So sometimes it seems like the speed on that road is outrageous and people are going. The data that we are collecting does support minor speeding, but for the most part, the average speed is just above or less than 1 mile above the posted speed limit. The other location is located at Rockland and Rittenhouse Drive, monitoring traffic going southbound on Rockland Drive. The speed trailer has been there since the 12th of June, and the data collected from June 12th to July 25th is as follows. The average speed on that road is 23.76 miles per hour. The posted speed is 25 miles per hour. So 85% of the vehicles passing that sign are traveling under 29.43 miles per hour. Total volume that have passed the sign during that period, 96,232, and the average vehicles per day is 2,187. So these two streets were identified as potentially problematic with regards to speeding. So that's why those signs have been placed to collect this very important data. I will share that the 13th class of the Willingboro Youth Police Academy started on July the 24th with a total of 22 students enrolled. During the 3 weeks, they will also be exposed to several aspects relating to law enforcement. They will get CPR certified and have presentations from the New Jersey State Police Equestrian Unit, the Federal Corrections, the Prosecutor's Office, the Burlington County Sheriff's Department, and the U.S. Coast Guard. They are also going on a field trip, I believe that's this Friday, planned to the Central Communications, or they have field trips planned to the Central Communications Burlington County Jail. And on this Friday, they're going to the National Law Enforcement Museum in Washington, D.C. This department facilitated community events during the month of July. One highlight was the Kids Fit program, which has a goal to keeping children active during the summer months. And the final session was a pool party, which was held today at the Country Club Pool, where they had, I believe it was over 100 families that came in and swam and ate pizza, courtesy of the Willingboro Police Department. And they also were the host of our National Night Out last night, held at Mill Creek Park. And if you have an opportunity to attend that event, it is always an outstanding event, which happens on the second Tuesday or the first Tuesday every year in the month of July. So August, I'm sorry. Well, it can't be August. Right, it should be today, but they held it last night. Okay, that's right. See, you missed me. Thank you. But it's all good. Public Works, our Public Works Department has been assisting the various departments in the township. They have set up for 28 events in our banquet hall. They've utilized over 70 man hours to set up for different and various events during the month of June. The men collected over 93 30-gallon trash bags of trash from our main roads and over 110 bags from our parks during the month of July. DPW has successfully installed the first of the Divine Nine benches in the Mill Creek Park. The Omega Psi Phi fraternity was installed, and the corresponding plaques will be installed after final approval by the council. So that can be discussed a little later on. And if you give us the thumbs up, we'll go ahead and have those plaques installed this week. Our DPW department is a very hardworking department. They're the ones who takes care of our streets and roads. They keep the grass cut. They take care of the potholes. And I know we have residents here who have concerns about potholes in Willingboro. We have a list of potholes, and there are several hundred of them, and we do get to them as quickly and as efficiently as we can. This council was very generous and invested in a hot patcher for the township, which has been placed. The order has been placed. So we are waiting for that to come in. Once the hot patcher comes in, that will enable our DPW crews to go in and put in hot patch in these potholes, which has a little better sticking power than the dirt fill or gravel fill that we're utilizing now, which is very temporary. So, they are working very aggressively to get around to the different potholes as they can. But once again, please keep us informed through the Willingboro app, and we will get to them as quickly and as efficiently as we can. And I will talk about a little later on about our road programs that will cover other, streets and things related to potholes as well. For senior service, let me see, recreation. Our recreation department has been very busy as usual. This department is currently working on a few grant opportunities, one of them being a recreational opportunities for individuals with disabilities. That is a $20,000 grant with a 20% grant match to help with developing inclusive recreational opportunities here in Willingboro. And we are going to be presenting that for the governing body to authorize us to submit that application later on during the meeting. There is also the Mayor's Wellness Campaign that will also help mental initiatives in a grant amount anywhere between 10 and 25,000, and the WellCare of New Jersey, which is a micro grant to help with diversity, equity, and inclusion in our recreation programming, which is between $2,000 and $4,000. So thank you for the Recreation Department for aggressively searching out these grants to improve our recreational opportunities for individuals with certain disabilities and mental health initiatives. Willingboro hosted a number of events throughout the month of July. Aquapalooza, which was scheduled for this past Saturday, unfortunately did have to be canceled. The screen vendor will not set up their screen if the percentage chance for rain is over a certain level. And we did meet that threshold, so we were forced to cancel that event over the weekend. The Country Club pool is up and running and being actively used by the community. You will know in years past, there has been a leakage problem at the pool, but that has pretty much been controlled. But we are still monitoring those levels on a daily basis to make sure that all things are still working as they should. The water meter at Pennypacker Pool, which has been out of service and hasn't been monitored by the MUA for the past 13 years, was recently replaced. And it has been discovered that there is a very sizable leak there, and we will begin to once again begin the investigative work to determine the repairs required for that pool. And hopefully we may not need to make repairs at Country Club as quickly as we thought. So maybe those funds can be diverted to Pennypacker Pool, but we will determine that after we actually identify what the problems are and what the potential fixes are. Our senior services, there were a number of classes held at the Reva Foster Senior Center in July, which included in-house and virtual classes on nutrition, exercise, programming, and reinforcing healthy living. There were 8 food distribution events in July, providing our community with breakfast foods, different assorted vegetables, bread, sandwiches, and canned goods. Those resources were provided to Willingboro from Wawa, South Jersey Food Pantry, Tabernacle, Wegmans, and Starbucks. The executive director for the center, Reva Foster, was very instrumental in lobbying our state legislatures and securing over $2 million in funding to make improvements to the senior center. So we are going to be looking to having a conversation with council very shortly, so we can begin to collaborate and agree on how those funds will be used to serve our senior community and meet the overall objectives of the council relating to that space. Our communications, as always, residents are encouraged to stay connected with us through our social media pages, the Willingboro Weekly, YouTube, the website, Comcast Channel 28. Our information is being broadcast in the Township app, Willingboro Connect, which is available for Apple and Android devices and are available for download either through our app. We do have different QR codes throughout the community where you can scan and download the app as well. The MUA has been working diligently painting fire hydrants throughout the township. You may have noticed that was a request by a few residents a few meetings ago, and they have been working diligently to get that done. The last time we had spoken, They had completed 67 out of approximately 700. But they have done quite a bit more since that time. And then we'll continue to move forward doing those, which really has been making a very noticeable difference in the beautification of Willingboro. Different projects that we are working on are just recently finishing up. The Pennypacker Drive Sunset Rose Phase 1 project is complete. And this evening, we will be formally receiving the maintenance bond for that project. The Buckingham Drive culvert repair is ready for closeout as complete. And we will be asking for a final change order reducing the contract amount by $8,968 from $120,796 to $111,828. So that was a nice little reduction in that contract price. The Buckingham Drive pavement project, we did receive $318,438 grant to repave Buckingham Drive under the fiscal year 2023 municipal aid program. That project is still underway. The survey has been completed, base map and assessment of the existing conditions have been completed, and the plans, the scope of project and engineering are continuing to move forward. And CME, who is the engineer on that project, will develop a schedule to review the plans with the township and then submit those plans to the DOT or the Department of Transportation for final authorization to put the project out to bid. Bradford and Blueberry Lane, a contract was awarded at the last meeting, and we are waiting for the final contract documents to be prepared and then signed off on before we can issue a notice to proceed. The ESIP project, the Energy Savings Improvement Program project, has been finalized, and we will be again looking for acceptance of the program and to introduce this evening the financing to move forward with that project. The JFK Performing Arts Center, we're happy to report that we are ready to award the contract to begin working on the performing arts remodel. The project was put to bid, and the bids came back very favorably for the township. Bright Ideal, a company that we have been working with, will begin replacing the lights on all of our Willingboro Township properties within the next few weeks. The necessary approvals and agreements have been put into place with PSC&G, and we will be paying the contractor, or PSC&G will be paying the contractor directly for the installation, transitioning our lights to LED lights, which are brighter, more efficient, and less costly energy consumers than what we have in place now. And we will be reimbursing them through our utility bills over the next 5 years. And finally, the 2023 segment rating for road replacement, which is the project that I was referring to you, is also underway with our engineers working on the scope and engineering of the project. This is a major $3.7 million road replacement program that will be put out to bid later this year for construction to begin in the spring of 2024. This project comprises we have a system in place with our engineering where they go and physically rate the worst roads in Willingboro. And what we did is we took all of the rating for roads, which are the worst roads in Willingboro, and with the cooperation of the governing body, we did go out and fund, like I said, a $3.7 million road replacement. That's going to cover 12 roads here in Willingboro, which have been labeled the worst roads in Willingboro. Which again, will handle some of the potholes and other issues in town. I wish I could have this project done for you tomorrow, but unfortunately we can't, because like I said, not only do we have to do the design and the engineering, but the project does need to go and receive authorizations and review through the funding organizations. And although we do not have to have New Jersey DOT approval. So, you know, we are working on our roads. We understand that they didn't get here in the condition that they were overnight, but this council is really taking aggressive steps to make repairs and improvements to our infrastructure here in Willingboro. And I do thank you for all of your support in that area. I would like to announce that Willingboro has been named a 2024 Healthy Cities Campaign grant recipient by the National Fitness Campaign Grant Committee. Sean, you can cue up that video now if you would like to. Willingboro has been awarded a 2024 NFC grant for $30,000 to help install free and accessible world-class fitness areas in public spaces across the country. We have a preliminary discussion about installing a fitness court, which would be free and accessible to all residents in a space around the popular walking track at JFK. Sean, go ahead. Sean has a very short video. It's only about a minute, so everyone can see what the NFC court would look like. And again, we are searching for different grants and funding partners to help defray the cost to bring a national fitness court to Willingboro. Sean, you can go ahead and play that video now.
The National Fitness Campaign is a San Francisco-based wellness company, and we make the fitness court to be the world's best outdoor gym. We make it fun
Video.
and
We have
effective for
audio,
use
but no
by
video.
everybody. We believe deeply.
I'm sorry, Mr. Harris, were you able to see and hear it?
We could hear it, but we could not see it.
Gotcha. Okay.
There you go. Good.
The National Fitness Campaign is a San Francisco-based wellness company, and we make the fitness court to be the world's best outdoor gym. We make it fun and effective for use by everybody. We believe deeply that health and happiness begins each day by the choices we make, and that we can design cities and schools to make healthy living an easier choice. That's why we're building thousands of these free fitness courts across the country as an anchor and social hub as part of a new movement-oriented society. When you build daily journeys around healthy activities using fresh air and sunlight to energize full body movements, you'll find that you're healthier and happier, live longer and better, and find everything you do just that little bit easier. Build your days around walking, jogging, cycling, leaving your car at home, and making new active friends every time you check into a fitness court across the country. Each fitness court works exactly the same, so once you learn to train on one, you'll find them everywhere. Look out for new challenges, events, and all new 7-minute workouts from us on the Fitness Court app, all for free. Brought to you by our amazing health insurance company sponsors who make all of this possible for our campaign. Bring a fitness court to your city or campus today.
Thank you, Sean. So that's just a brief explanation of what the fitness court is. So when you hear us talking about it over the next few weeks and next months, then you'll understand as a community what it is that we're trying to do to bring better health and fitness to Willingboro. And finally, Willingboro has also been the recipient of an It Pays to Plug In New Jersey Electric Vehicle Charging Grant. This is a reimbursement grant that I applied for as we were investigating the possible installation of EV charging stations at the Mill Creek Park. But we are looking at options to bring EV charging stations to Willingboro, also underneath a public-private partnership with a company called GreenSpot, which will bear the cost of acquisition and installation on township property with a 50% revenue share. So Mr. Lowry and I had initial discussions, and we will be investigating this further as they have done this with a few other municipalities very successfully throughout New Jersey. And I think it would be a good opportunity for Willingboro as well. So that's the culmination of my report. I am going to ask Mr. Lowry if he would come and speak on the Back to School initiative. And then Ms. Jackson will give us an update on the community upcoming events and activities. Mr. Lowry.
Good afternoon, good evening, Mayor, Council, and the members of the public. We are partnering with the school district to host a back to school wellness event. We'll be giving away book bags and school supplies for the entirety of the population in Willingboro for Willingboro residents and students. That's 3,700 book bags and school supplies for the kids in the community, K to 12. We'll we'll be able to fund this event through the National Opioid Settlement Funds that we receive every year. Last year, we received a total of $76,000+. And we received an additional 20,000 this year so far. Those funds will come over the next 18 years. So we'll be partnering with Burlington County Prevention Plus. Burlington County Prevention Plus, they'll be providing that critical opioid or drug misuse prevention awareness, collateral material information, along with a few other organizations that we'll be working with. And we hope that it's going to be a great event. It'll be September 2nd from 12 to 4. Myself, Dr. Worthy, and Councilman Anderson have been working to partner with local barbershops and hair salons so that we can provide vouchers for the students as well for the girls to have their hair done for free, and for the guys to get their haircuts, also free haircuts, partnering with those barbershops. So we look forward to a great event at the JFK September 2nd from 12 to 4.
Quick question before you leave. Is there a wellness component of that?
Yes. So the wellness component, again, like I said, we'll be talking about the prevention misuse. We'll be partnering with other yoga instructors and folks that will focus on mindful meditation, healthy eating, and things of that nature, food demos. So like, how do you prepare a healthy snack after school? So those will be the wellness components, and then also other mental health specialists as well that can help with things in that vein.
Thank
All
you.
right, no problem.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, and all those in attendance. So upcoming events include Saturday, August 12th, we're doing our Saturday night comedy show. That's going to be at the Kennedy Center, and doors open at 7. That is sponsored by Councilman Anderson. That is a free event. On that Sunday, August 13th, will be the 40th anniversary of our Jazz Fest. We're very excited for this event. Headliners include our own Adam Blackstone, violinist Damian Escobar, and R&B artist John B., along with a number of wonderful performers. So the evening will conclude with a firework finale sponsored by Senator Singleton. Friday, August 18th, we will have Teen Game Night hosted by Willingboro Library. The library has a number of wonderful events, so we're just going to direct you to their website for all of their wonderful events. But Teen Game Night is Friday, August 18th from 6 to 10 p.m. Also on the 18th, it's open mic night, and that will also held at the Kennedy Center. It is held every third Friday from 6:30 to 9. And then on Tuesday, August 22nd, sponsored by our fire department, we're proud to share that we will host our very first Touch a Truck event. This is a silent event, so there'll be no loud noises or sirens, and a great opportunity for our children to touch vehicles. That event will be held at the Kennedy Center. And then Sunday, August 27th, family skating event hosted by the police department. That will be at the rink at the Edgewater Park. Another free event, it kicks off at 3 o'clock. And lastly, we're proud to host our very first Willingboro and White Party on Friday, September 8th. And this event is very similar to the Dinner en Blanc event. So the location will not be disclosed until the day of the event, but we are anticipating that the tickets will be on sale 1 week from today. And reservations are limited to 100 people, so it will be served on first come, first serve. And white chic attire is required, so guests bring their own food, china, cutlery, and drinks. And we have live music, and we're looking forward to a great, elegant evening outdoor experience. So I think that's everything. And as Mr. Harris, yes, Mr. Harris.
So we have the Mr. Salty Pop-Up event on Thursday, August the 17th.
Yes, thank you for that. August 17th, Cones with a Cop. Yes, and that is from, do you have the time for that?
That is from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the Country Club Administrative Building on Beverly Rancocas Road.
Okay, very good.
And then one other event hosted by the Senior Center. They are having a free health festival on Saturday, August the 12th as well, from 12 to 3 p.m. In Burlington City. And this is a collaboration with the South Jersey Family Medical Center. And for more information on that, please contact the Senior Center.
Okay,
And I believe that
That is
encompasses
everything.
all of our reports and information for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anything?
Mr. Harris?
Yes, sir.
Can you see that all the event information gets over to the clerk so it could be placed on our calendars?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other?
I have a question.
Councilman Vaughn?
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Harris. Question about the pools. Do we have insurance on the pools? Like if something needs repair, that certain things are covered?
We don't have maintenance insurances or things like that. No, we don't. We just have basic liability insurances and things like that.
If someone is hurt, like that type of liability? Okay, the other thing is Penny Packer pool, they used to have sprinklers.
Yes.
As they were taken down.
That's one of the areas that we're going to be looking into. I understand they've been out of service for a few years,
Yeah,
and that's one of the areas that we're going to be looking to get repaired and back up and running.
okay, for next year.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else from Mr. Good, Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Harris, for your report. I had two things. One, I just wanted to thank you and the administration for continuing to secure grants to enhance Willingboro's infrastructure and amenities. There was a long period of time where we didn't receive as many grants to enhance our community. And this new energy has really brought new life to Willingboro. As you know, investment begets investment. So as we secure more grants are available to us. And we appreciate your work to enhance the community, not at the taxpayer's expense. So that's great. Also, thank you for the data on the speed investigations on various roads. And because of those investigations, the speed calming measures have been taken on Penny Packer Drive. So thank you for that. I know the residents are very thankful for that speed humps that were put in there. There was one other location on Tyler Drive, and if we can do some investigation there, we have had numerous complaints of speeding on that road as well. Thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you, Council.
Yep, thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Agreed. Okay, you can proceed to the ordinances.
So here's the business part that we're going to be asking for your consideration this evening. Ordinance number 2023-14, which is a public hearing and final reading, which is an ordinance providing for peace and good order within the township of Willingboro. As many of you may or may not be aware of, we are, I don't want to say combating, because I don't know if that's the correct word, but we're trying to manage a homeless problem beginning to escalate at our public library. Willingboro is a beautiful community, and even the homeless recognize that and want to come and live here. The problem is that there are certain things that are being conducted in that area are not beneficial to the residents, as far as, the way they excrement their waste and things like that, and a little scary, some of the aggressive behavior towards the residents. So as we want to be respectful and understanding of their particular plight in life, we also have to consider the persons who live in this community and their safety and well-being as well. So this ordinance puts into place certain policies and procedures which enables us to handle them on a more official capacity that we were not able to do before. So that will be a second hearing and final reading. We are going to ask for the introduction of our funding for the energy savings, the ESIP program, which is the introduction of a refunding bond. So the difference between a refunding bond and a regular bond is that the note or the obligation is going to be paid back by the monies that we save doing these improvements. So the ESIP program it's been reviewed, it's been verified, it's been audited by third-party independent auditors and the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, saying that we are going to save very specific amounts of money by making certain improvements to our properties. those savings are going to refund and cover the costs for us to make those improvements and even see further down the road. So this is the refunding bond for the ESIP program in the amount of $2,400,000. Resolution number 2023-168 is approving final closeout for the fiscal year 2020 in New Jersey Department of Transportation Trust Fund resurfacing of Pennypacker Drive and Sunset, and accepting the maintenance bond, which would be put into place for a period of 2 years from the date of substantial completion, which was April 21st, 2022. And that maintenance bond is in the amount of $289,693.87. Resolution number 169 is a resolution authorizing the redistribution of contract funds for trash and debris removal services. I'm asking for a revision in this contract. These contracts are issued to certain companies who come in and cut the grass on homes where people don't cut the grass, or make repairs to property on homes in Willingboro that have received violations. Maybe they're vacant properties that need to be kept up. And the township does take on some of those responsibilities, and then turns around and puts liens on the property as a means to recoup our expenses. But there were some contractors who did not want to participate in that program this year. And on the last resolution, I think we listed one of them erroneously. So we're just asking for the correct three to be ratified. Resolution number 171 is a revised resolution to enter into an agreement with Performance Health and Medical and Prescription Drug Plan coverage for employees and retirees. When we initially did that resolution, we erroneously included our anticipated expenses as part of the total contract amount. So we're just asking for a revision in that contract, removing those expenses and just awarding the contract for the $330,000, I believe, which is the anticipated cost for the remainder of this year with the third-party health provider. Resolution 171 is a resolution authorizing the township to place municipal charges on certain properties for failing to address property maintenance violations. Those are the liens that I just mentioned for properties where we have to go in and abate certain situations. And we're just asking for the authorization to move forward and place the liens on those properties. Resolution number 172 is approving change order number 1 and final for repairs of the Buckingham Lane Culvert failure repair project. That was the change order that I just mentioned, reducing that contract amount by $8,968. So we're asking for the approval of that change order. Resolution number 174 is approving the energy services contract and the performance and energy management as a service agreement or performance guarantee with Schneider Electric for the ESIP. Again, we're asking or the governing body selected Schneider Electric to be their energy services company back in December of 2020. Schneider, in full cooperation and collaboration with the township, has successfully completed their investment grade audit and finalized the required energy savings plan, also known as the ESIP. Like I mentioned earlier, Willingboro and Schneider Electric together submitted the ESIP to an independent third party for review and sign off that the savings calculations, the projected scope were being measured and verified accurately. And also the ESIP was submitted to the New Jersey Board of Public Utility for their review and was verified and approved on June the 28th. So Schneider has finalized the contract and performance guarantee in accordance with the said ESIP, and we're asking the governing body to go ahead and authorize approval and implementation of the ESIP contract. Resolution number 175 is authorizing the use of competitive contract for the provision of vending machine services here in Willingboro. Several years ago, nobody really knows when, vending machines were placed in the township, but they were never placed there according to the rules and regulations. So we're just asking that we go out and do what's proper and do competitive contracting for the provision of those services. And if anyone has a local vending company that would like to be considered, please feel free to submit your bids when they are put out for public engagement. Resolution 176 is authorizing an award of contract with Verde Technologies, also known as Deterra, for the purchase of personal drug deactivation and disposal systems, which are in line with the programs that are being held in September that Mr. Lowry presented to the body. Resolution number 177 is authorizing the ratification and successor agreement between the Township of Willingboro and the Government Workers Union, local number 1210. This is the Department of Public Works Supervisors Union, which is comprised of full-time employees of the Township of Willingboro. We have been meeting and negotiating with them for a new contract for the period of January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024. The details of which have been provided for you, and we are asking that the council approve and ratify the agreement that was negotiated with the GWU. Resolution number 178 is a resolution authorizing the ratification of assessor agreement with the Township of Willingboro and the Burlington County Professional Firefighters Association, particularly the Willingboro Emergency Medical Technicians. Back in 2022, we did implement an EMS department where we went and hired 8 full-time EMS service provider and a supervisor. Shortly thereafter, those 8 members unionized, and kind of in concert with the IAFF, the local firefighters. So we did once again negotiate with them. We came out with a reasonable agreement, and we're going to ask the council approve that as well. Resolution 179 is the resolution authorizing the construction services contract for the Willingboro Performing Arts Center, Phase 1. Like I said, that project was put out to bid. There were 4 qualifying bids ranging anywhere from $927,000 to a little over $1 million, with Levy Construction from Oakland, New Jersey, submitting the lowest qualifying bid for the base bid in the amount of $927,600. This has been a long, ongoing project in Willingboro, and I am very happy that we are finally getting to the initial phases of construction towards a project that will really be beneficial and reap huge benefits to the Willingboro residents. So we're asking for you to go ahead and authorize that contract as well. Resolution number 180 is asking for the agreement or enter into an agreement with Schaefer Systems International, which is a contracted participant in the HVAC contract. What this contract is that we provide trash cans to our residents here in Willingboro. So every now and again, we have to go out and purchase a huge supply of trash cans that we give to homeowners, and they get stolen and damaged and replaced. So this is what this contract is for, to just go out and buy a resupply of new trash cans. Resolution number 181 is a resolution authorizing the historical method of accepting applications for the issuance of the township's plenary retail consumption licenses. Are we going to continue with that after executive session, or?
Yes, we're going to hold that after executive session. The council make a decision what they'll do with that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crook. Resolution 182 is a resolution authorizing a refund for overpayment of taxes. Resolution number 183 is authorizing the renewal of a liquor license to Foster's Military Lodge. for the licensing term 2022 and 2023. Resolution number 184 is a resolution for the renewal of membership into Professional Municipal Management Joint Insurance Fund, which is known as our JIF. Though that is the insuring agency that covers all of our property, our liabilities and things. And we usually have a 3-year membership, which is up for renewal. So we're just asking that we renew our membership in the JIF. Resolution 185 is asking for the ratification of a successor agreement between the Township of Willingboro and again, the Burlington County Firefighters Association. This particular contract is related to the EMS supervisor. Supervisors and regular employees cannot be in the same union. So we had to do another union contract for the supervisor, and we're asking that you ratify this particular contract as well. Resolution number 186 is authorizing an addendum to the collective negotiated agreement by and between the Township of Willingboro and the Burlington County Professional Firefighters Association, International Association Firefighters Local number 3091. There were certain amendments that were agreed upon by the township and the firefighters to make adjustments in some language and provisions in the contract, one being their option or opportunity to choose overtime pay versus comp time pay the day that the service is provided. And the other one just clarifies the amount of time that has to pass between when a new employee completes training and moves through the first step and then moves into the second step of their contract. And we're also moving for new employees, their anniversary dates for raises to their anniversary dates of employment rather than just standard dates throughout the course of the year. And then resolution number 187 is authorizing the Township of Willingboro to apply for and obtain a grant for the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. This is the Recreational Opportunity for Individuals and Disabilities Grant Program. It requires authorization for submission by the governing body because it does carry with it a matching component of 20%, which would be $4,000 that the township would be committing to as well. And then finally, resolution number 188 is approving the bills dated August 1st, 2023 for payment. And those are all of the items I believe that we are presenting to you for your consideration this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harris. I'm going to open it up for public comment for agenda items only. Anything that Mr. Harris just went over in terms of ordinances or resolutions, if anybody has any concerns or questions, you have 2 minutes to present to the council. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Joseph Guerrier. And then I live in Willingboro, 57 Clubhouse Drive.
Okay.
And then I've been in this township for the past since 1986. And then my tax keep on going up non-stop.
Okay, Mr. Youssef, I just have to have you come back for the second public comment because this is just for the resolutions and the agenda and the ordinances. I'll call you back and you'll be first at the next public comment. Anybody online? All right,
Not
public.
at this moment, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, public comment for agenda items is now closed. Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2023-14, this is public hearing and ordinance providing for peace and good order. Public hearing is now open. Host, you see anyone online?
Not at this moment.
Public hearing is now closed. This is the final reading for ordinance 2023-14, an ordinance providing for peace and good order. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitfield. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield?
yes.
And Mayor McIntosh?
Yes.
This is the first reading for ordinance 2023-15, an energy saving obligation refunding bond ordinance of the Township of Willenboro in the County of Burlington, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition, construction, and installation of energy conservation improvements appropriated not to exceed $2,400,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $2,400,000 energy saving obligation refunding bonds to provide for such improvement. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second, moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Mayor McIntosh. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield?
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh?
Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure there's no resolution 173 that is omitted.
No, that's the one we pulled out.
All right, so but there's nothing on here. And then any resolutions that we want to pull out? I know we're gonna pull out 181. Any other ones?
Mayor, none to pull out, but I had a minor edit to 172. It's Buckingham Drive versus Buckingham Lane.
Are we okay to do a consent agenda for what's presented? All right, so I make a motion to have a consent agenda for resolutions 2023, 168 through 162.
Oh, wait.
168 through 172?
I'm gonna say 172 because I don't want to include a
You said
73.
162.
I'm sorry, 170. Thank you. 172, I apologize. And resolution 2023, 174 through 180.
88.
And then resolution 2023, 182 through 188.
So moved. Second,
Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson?
Hold on, I'm still putting my seed down.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, yes.
So did you make a motion
I made the motion.
and then,
oh,
Yeah, you
I
did a
second
second.
I thought I
Alright.
seconded.
No, you made the motion and then, oh yeah, second, that's fine.
Second.
Thank you.
okay. All right. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield,
yes.
and Mayor McIntosh.
Yes. I make a motion to approve resolution 2023, 168 through 172. Resolution 2023, 174 through 180, and resolutions 2023, 182 through 188.
Second.
Roll call, please. I'm sorry, moved by McIntosh, seconded by Councilwoman Perone. Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes. All right, Madam Clerk.
We holding 181, right?
Mhm.
Yes. You can proceed.
All right, gotcha.
Treasurer.
I had to get to where. Wait a minute, am I missing something? Oh, treasury report.
Mhm.
All right, I need a motion to approve the treasury report for the month of July, please.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitfield. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
Need an approval of minutes for July the fifth, 2023, please.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitfield. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
While we're there, Mayor, proceed.
Yes, please.
There was a amendment that, we needed to make to the February the seventh minutes as it relates to, Pima. We did not, have that written in the minutes, so we did put that because we did vote it for February the seventh. We did added that in the minutes. I just wanted to let you all know that it is on the record that we approved it, but, that line was left out of the minutes. So, Mr. Crook, I don't know if we need to,
I would do a motion on that, just to do that amendment.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the revision to February seventh, 2023 minutes regarding the Pima cannabis section.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
For the month of July, the clerk officers received 1,108 phone calls, received and made 1,202 phone calls. 4 dog license, renewal, 12 Oprahs, 0 solicitor license, 9 foreclosures. The planning board did have a, or will be having one application, and that is Diamond Dogs, and we got some paperwork that you all have in your packets concerning that. And Willenburg Town Center North Manager, also some literature in your packets concerning that, and no applications for the zoning board thus far. Death certificates, we received process 17, birth certificates 89, marriage certificates 20, marriage applications 16, weddings 6. The cannabis RF request for qualifications or application was closed July the 14th. We did not receive anything. Municipal clerk position closes September the 1st. Currently have about 6 applications. And also, August the 8th and the 10th, the clerk office, we would like to be closed from 9 to 12 on both days for Granicus training. Residents will still be able to drop off applications, and we will open at noon. That is a 3-hour training that we will be online with Granicus as it relates to the agendas, minutes, boards and commissions, and Oprahs. August the 8th and August the 10th. And subject to your questions, Mayor, Council, that's all that I have.
Anything for Madam Clerk?
I do have an alibi, Mayor. There have been a influx of requests for service dogs, but all service dogs are not service dogs. Some are getting it confused with the comfort and emotional, which are not considered service dogs. The service dogs, of course, do not have to pay the registration fees. The support dogs do, but we currently have a limit of 2 dogs. The service dog do not count against that count, but we have a lot of residents complaining about the limit of the 2 dogs, but our ordinance does state 2 dogs per household.
Right. So I think that is an ordinance that council, we probably have to just look at, just revisit. I did ask the clerk to, try to gauge some surrounding municipalities, see where we're at. I've been getting, mixed feedback from residents. Some residents want us to have the limit of 2, it's really, I thought it was 2 animals. We just had to revisit that ordinance.
It's 2 dogs.
2, okay.
It could,
A limit on the dogs because
Hmm.
people don't want a lot of dogs making a lot of noise in the backyards. And then we also have, plenty of dog lovers in Wellingboro that would like, more than 2 dogs. So I think it's something that we just have to look at over the next month or so, just to see where we want to land and either amend that ordinance or keep it, but enforce it, because I know there is some arguments as to whether cats need to be registered. That's in our ordinance also, so we just have to update.
it's out, Mayor,
Huh?
with the cats. We don't have any.
It's not in there.
The cats.
Okay. But it's just one of those ordinance that is becoming a hot topic now. So I just want to put it on our radar. And Ms. Blashen, can you just forward that ordinance to every council member and we'll put it on?
We should have.
Oh, you have it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so we just revisit, we'll look at that and put on for new business for the next meeting. But if you have something, we can discuss some of it now.
Just- Yeah, we can discuss it later, but my question is, I just don't understand, I understand why we have, the rules and regulations, 2 dogs, all of that I'm okay with. What I don't understand is why do we have fees? Why do you have to pay a fee for a dog or a cat? And what do we give back in return? Like, do we pay for any of their vets, their doctor visits? Not even one. We're just collecting money because you have a pet and we're not giving back anything. I never understood why we have that. So maybe it's something we can, like, we're gonna revisit it. I truly don't understand why we're charging families to have a pet. They should be registered so we know who our residents are. And even if it is your fur family member, we should know their names and that they are residents of this community. I just don't see why we're charging people $12, $15. And I think it's $700 for a potentially dangerous dog. But that's my question, concern. We can talk about it when we bring it back up to new business.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
also, I mean, this has come before us several times before. And I think the issue is a dangerous dog versus a non-dangerous
Right.
dog. So that's what we have to look at as we consider
Right.
whatever changes we make.
Okay. Fair enough. And then I know a big topic coming up with this ordinance also are the service and support dogs. That's the main drive for expanding the number of animals. But I'm curious to see what other municipalities are. One of the arguments says that, we have this limit and other municipalities do not, or they have a higher number. But we just want to, over the course of this month, we're just going to get some data points on that and just wanted to put into the atmosphere for us to consider. And we'll talk more in depth next council meeting.
Okay, so new business for next council.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I have one thing just
Go
to
ahead.
add, Councilwoman Perone, just in response, I do know a little bit about the dog licenses. One of the things that that fee serves is to help get lost pets back. So when they register for the dog license, they do get a tag. It helps us to identify where that dog belongs. And then it helps us with the animal control or the fees that we pay to the county, should a lost dog be dropped off to them, and then we get it back to the family.
Mhm.
So that's where that fee goes from.
And the state charges a fee, and that fee we can't cancel.
They charge us a fee for having the pets in our residence.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Madam Clerk?
No, ma'am, that'll do it.
Okay. Moving on to unfinished business. Do we have any items for unfinished business?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
As Mr. Harris mentioned as part of his presentation, the organization part of Divine Nine and Mega Sci-Fi has had their bench installed. And we just need to approve the plaques. Just so that they can go down and be installed as well. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to
So do we
approve
have to
the
approve
plaques.
this ordinance, the amendment ordinance that you submitted?
No,
Or
we,
just, okay, we
yeah,
just, okay,
we could-
that's
yeah,
fine, that's fine.
yeah. If I can just get a motion to
Okay.
support approving the plaques so that they can be mounted.
Got it.
I'll make the motion to approve the plaques of Omega Psi-Phi fraternity to be installed in Mill Creek Park at their bench.
I'll second it.
All right, moved by Deputy Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
I have another item for unfinished business. Over on Rittenhouse Drive, over by the Avery, I know we brought it up in the past, how the tractor trailers park there illegally.
Mhm.
I know we mentioned about putting some type of signs up.
Mm.
Where are we at with that process, or is anything being done, or?
That was my item for new business.
Oh, that was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because a resident had mentioned it to me, you know, and they kind of like, they thought it was mentioned at a council meeting that we would try to put some type of signs up,
Mhm.
at least to give them some notice, some warning or whatever. So I just wanted to bring it to the table.
It's illegal truck driving in general too.
Yeah, I think that is a
I mean,
general
truck, parking.
concern is the illegal truck parking for tractor trailers and large vehicles, either on our residential roads and in some of those, I guess, attractive parking places like the alcove on Rockland Drive.
Because I do believe something went up over at East Ridge. Isn't there
Mhm,
some
East
type of no
Ridge.
parking signs over there that just went up?
So East Ridge, those would have been placed by the
Or
property.
Okay,
Mhm.
Private properties can put no parking signs and things like that will be towed, but there are certain requirements in association with that. There has to be notification if their car is towed and where they can go and get it. And as long as those are met, as far as from the township perspective, we can place a no parking as long as it's in compliance with one of our ordinances. So, yeah, we can move that initiative further. I'm not sure exactly what the wording would be, but we'll make sure that something goes up there within the next 30 to 45 days.
Okay. And even before that, just general enforcement, because I believe we do have an ordinance
Mhm.
preventing tractor trailers
Correct.
parking in certain areas. So even without the signs, just enforcement.
Right.
Okay. A specific weight? Okay.
Yeah, so I will, I know we have representatives, a very efficient representative from the police department with us this evening. Who will, absolutely, who will, make sure that that information gets disseminated throughout the department.
Okay, I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Captain.
and one more item.
Yes,
I know some time ago, we mentioned about Juneteenth and
okay.
how we tried to swap it out for Columbus Day.
Mhm.
And, you know, the unions went back and forth. The question was brought back to my attention. Is there any opportunity to look at another holiday? Or what would the cost be to just have that day off? So I said I would bring it back to the table to see. Because it's my understanding on Juneteenth, calls were coming in and residents wanted to know why we were here. So I just said, you know, you know, other municipalities had off and so forth. So I said, you know, let me bring it back to the table to see what opportunities to review it and to see what other options or, you know, might exist, if any.
Mr. Harris, can you get a quantitative cost on either swap? Well, I don't know what, because I think the union said they didn't want to swap. I believe what we said we didn't want to
Right.
swap.
Well, that was
anything.
Columbus Day. but I
Yeah,
don't know if
that
you looked at
was-
Another
There's the day
holiday.
after Thanksgiving. I mean, there's other days.
Right. If we could just take a look at
Yeah.
to see, and if not, you know, if it's just added on the calendar, what the cost would be.
Okay.
And if it makes sense for us to allocate for that. I mean,
Alright.
because we are predominantly an African-American community,
Mhm.
you know, it would make sense. But let's see what we can come up with.
You just put that on unfinished business for the next meeting. Anything else, Councilman Anderson? Any other, have anything for unfinished?
No.
Okay. Any new business? We did bring up the illegal truck parking. I just wanted to bring to council's attention that we did get a request from American Basketball Association to house the Thoroughbreds. They're a ABA thing, and they do practice or play games in Willingboro JFK Center. The request was made. We did ask for a proposal or what they're looking for, what that would encompass. I have not gotten that yet. But they are looking to name it, Thoroughbreds, the home, Willingboro, home of the Thoroughbreds. That's the request. Again, I haven't received a proper proposal to disseminate. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention, that is a request. They are having a news conference tomorrow. We will not be saying that tomorrow, because it was not properly vetted, through council. But I just want to let you know that is a request, and I just wanted to get a feel on, what people think, or if there's any interest for that matter, of actually being the home of this American Basketball Association team. They do service the county, Burlington County, I believe. So, and it may be a good thing. They, with that ABA, they do have to sponsor and be a pillar in the community. They have to invest in the community that they're part of. That's part of the regulations of being that franchise. So I just, want to bring it to the attention, and we'll probably have some more information within this month. Anything else for me? Go ahead, Councilman Colon.
Just one thing. So I know it's been really hot these days, and I'm so appreciative that we have swimming pools in Willingboro. The only issue that I have is, based off my research, Willingboro used to have pool passes for residents in Willingboro. We have been charging our residents to go to the pools, and I know there's a slight discount, but I feel that based off of everything going up with the taxes and whoever's fault it may be, I feel like our amenities are poor, meaning that we're not giving enough back to the community. And I feel that regardless of how much money we are receiving at the end of the summer, I feel that that's something that we can do. And I'm hoping that the council would maybe support me on that, where we go back to, I know we already started this year, but going back to, you live here, you can swim here, and actually making sure that we know that they're residents. And how can they prove that? Through their taxes. Their taxes will have their residents of who's living in their house, and those people can have a free pool pass for the summer. And I'd like for us to see us do that. So that's one area of new business. Actually, that's the only area of new business that I wanted to bring up, and to see what did the council think as far as supporting that initiative.
No, and I appreciate that. Growing up here, we did have pool passes that were given to us in school, and we had all the pools open. That's when, everybody's the heyday. I'm not against it, but I just wanted to lay out the unfortunate part was that during those times we were receiving county grants, state grants, like massive grants to offset the cost of the pool. So it was where the residents weren't necessarily paying the fee. It was being supplemented by these grants that when they ended, we didn't have, there was no future plan to subsidize the cost of the pool. I do think it's worthy of investigating.
Yeah.
To see what that would cost and how we can offset it possibly. But I think that the charge started happening because those grants that we were receiving over the years were no longer being given. So the costs, either the taxes would go up to supplement the cost of maintaining that pool, or the pools, or the mini pools. I wish we had all the pools open like we did.
Right.
But that in fact did change. So, but I think it is worthy of investigating, if we could start, put back the pool passes,
Yeah, just
for the
something.
students, especially, I'll say for the students more so.
Definitely students as well.
Mhm.
It's therapeutic.
It is.
And if it's something that we can do, I think that we can. And maybe, like I said, I'm not speaking of tomorrow. I recognize the budgets had been in place and everything like that, but our we start looking at our budgets this coming year. So I'm mostly speaking of really for September, for us to take another look at that. And again, our amenities, you know, when you look to move into a community, you look at what do we get back
Right.
for living here, right? And I just feel like we can, you know, let's just look to see what we can do. And I was just thinking about the pools.
So that's a great recommendation, Councilwoman Perone, and we will investigate that. The fees that we charge are minimum fees, and in reality, just defer or absorb some of those costs. Believe me, the bulk of the expenses, the cost to run these pools and different things in the township are absorbed through the tax base. And the removing of the fee doesn't really make the pool free. It just takes those expenses and puts them back into the overall tax base. So, you know, if that's what the council desires to do, that's easy to do, but just be clear that the cost doesn't go away. It's just redirected into a different area.
Yeah. Let's look, like we said, let's look into it. It's under new business. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you just make sure that's on for next? Okay, thank you. Not,
Yes,
mhm.
take a dive.
That's
on
a
it.
good idea.
Anything else for new business? All right, we will now come to public comment. Mr. Youssef, you are first. We'll do public comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 4 minutes.
Okay, my name is Joseph Guerrier. I live in
What's your last name?
Joseph
Joseph, okay,
Guerrier, Guerrier.
okay.
I live in 57 Clubhouse Drive, Willingboro.
Mhm.
And then I've been living this place since 1986. I bought the house almost cash. And then my kids, I raised my kids with them. Now they all move. It's only me and my wife. And then I've been paying my tax since the day I moved here until today. The thing is now, I just get what you call the Social Security and then the pension because I used to work in New York. What concerns me now is because I don't mind to pay taxes because I know the school, whatever the case, because my kid was raised there, the things. Why they keep on raising my tax? Because the property is getting higher. I don't have nothing to do with that because I paid that was almost 30 years ago. I paid almost cash. Now I don't have no mortgage in the house. The only thing I know I have to pay taxes for the township, for the school, whatever it is. But you know, I don't want them because they always become $500 houses. And then now they told me, well, because everything they charge you according to the bank. I don't have nothing to the bank. I don't have nothing to do with the bank. My thing is concerned is just to pay taxes for the land, and then for the school for the kids, whatever it is. But don't tell me about the contractor come in the area, raise those houses so high. Meanwhile, because I'm 75 years old now, I'm waiting just for my days to go, but I'm not going to move. And then, matter of fact, I'm from Haiti, that I will speak on file from. That's the reason why I paid cash. I want to give it to my kids. I'm not going to leave. And then I don't mind the taxes, whatever it is for the land, for the school, whatever it is. But those contractors come in the area. That Jacob, the house is so much money it's like a harassment for me. One thing I ask you to do, please give me a credit for the senior citizen taxes. That's what I request, because you are paying. Otherwise, I will still pay for the tax because my kids will not allow me to be living on the street or go to live in a nursing home. I'm not raised like that. But they make me upset when I see the way they treat people. This is so cheap. The only thing I ask you, I don't ask you a favor, just the senior citizen discount, I want it.
So, Mr. Yosef, that I will connect you to Miss Eusebia Diggs, who is right here.
When I went there, you see what they told me? They told me, okay, go to the cashier. When you tell me to go to the cashier is only there to collect money. Okay, if I want to discuss
You know,
something, I have to come to you, like whatever you need. That's the reason why I come to that meeting.
So Miss Eusebia, she'll take your information and then she will connect you with the tax collector, who will get in touch with you to give you the necessary forms that you need to complete, and we will help you do that to get that process moving forward.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Joseph.
Gelling.
Are there any other public comment? You can come up.
Hi there.
Come on up.
That microphone makes me nervous. I've got a loud voice.
But the people online won't be able to hear you.
I mean, somebody else is listening.
They're all listening.
I'm Nancy Campos. My husband and I moved here 5 years ago. I'm bringing other people up because they've been here over 25 years in
What's
the
the
area of,
address?
we're at 40 Montrose Lane.
Thank you.
And the road conditions that we're talking about is Montrose and Moss Hill, correct?
Moss Hill.
Yes.
Okay.
And we've got pictures. My husband has got pictures and others have got pictures. So I don't want to take their time. I want them to speak, even though you heard me earlier
Yep.
of what I had to say. I just want something done with these roads. And what you told us earlier about putting something harder down before 2024, that sounded good to me. I don't want the sand. I want something harder. So I'll let them take over and thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Petra.
Campbell.
I'm Petra Floyd, 46 Montrose Lane in Willingboro. My family has been here, I don't know, 68 maybe, my mom bought the house. I don't recall the road ever being repaved, ever. There was years. Huh, they did?
They did, back around 82.
Okay. The whole, you can't even call it a pothole. The road it's just
It's a
mangled.
nightmare.
It's at the top of Moss Hill, all down Millbrook Drive. I mean, Montrose Lane. I don't know why so many cars go up and down Montrose Lane. It seems to be a shortcut to somewhere. I don't know. But I have pictures and it's really just a disgrace. It's embarrassing, actually. I wouldn't want people to come over and visit me and come that way. It's that bad. It's a
And
disgrace.
which address are you at again?
46 Montrose Lane.
Montrose. Thank you.
So it's the top of Moss Hill. Oh, also the bottom of Moss Hill. I didn't know that. But I have pictures from the top of Moss Hill, which is really terrible, and down Montrose Lane.
Thank you, Ms. Floyd.
Mr. Larry.
We're going to address, we'll address just so everyone knows, we're going to address all concerns and questions after everyone speaks their concerns.
Hello, my name's Ricardo B. Larry, and I live at 36 Montrose Lane. And when you come around the corner off of Martin Luther King on to Moss Hill, as soon as you make that turn, you are entering the what's the name of that place? Aberdeen Proving Ground. Because only tanks can go down there. Your car was not designed for that. When you get to the second left, that's Montrose. And as soon as you turn the corner and go into the bend, you're on the offshoot of the Aberdeen Proving Ground. I can say they've repaved the thing once since I've been living here in 45 years. And that was back between 80 and 82. It never got repaved again. They came, I don't know, it had to be 15 or 20 years ago. They acted like they were going to repave it again. They started making cuts in the blacktop. And I never understood why, because they just left it. They made the cuts, they left it and called it a day. Now I realize most of you here weren't even born in 1978, so
That's when I
you
was
wouldn't know
born.
what it's like.
I was born June 78. June 7th, 1978.
I was not.
See, and for you, here's a gift.
No. It's pictures.
So the picture's
You can
good.
look at the streets yourself and be the judge.
So I'll be honest with all of you and I appreciate your comments and I'll allow you.
We can just let
Yeah.
them finish and then we'll,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name's Angela Roundtree. My address is 61 Moss Hill Lane, and I've been living here since 1977. So been here for a while, seen it all the good stuff. But my concern is, as they've said about Moss Hill Lane, between Moss Hill and what is that, Madison? No, the other one, where your street? Mandolin. So between Moss Hill Lane and Mandolin, when you make the left, I believe it was PSE&G who came out to do some work in the ground years ago. I think they were replacing something, and then they replaced the street, but it's a giant sinkhole now. So when cars come by, debris falls off of their trucks, all kinds of stuff. And I have my neighbor that's in front of me is 87 years old, and we clean up in front of her house because some things just fall off of people's cars, but it's a giant sinkhole, and it's literally almost like it's so deep that you have to treat it like a speed hump. So that's just, along with the top of Moss Hill, that's my main concern, is if we could just address that, because you hear when the traffic goes through, you hear all of the bumps and all of that going on. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kimmy Cannon Roundtree, and I am at 15 Montrose Lane, and this is my husband Jermaine Roundtree. We've been there since 2015. But as they were saying, we do live on Moss Hill, so when we come around the corner we live on Montrose, and as we come around the corner from Moss Hill, I don't even go that way anymore because it's starting to mess up my car. So I don't want to cause any damage to my car to where, I have to wind up going to get it fixed. But there's other areas as well when we turn on to coming off of what was Levitt Parkway is now Veterans, I believe. Coming and you're turning making a right, there's like a little pothole area there. I turned on there the other day and I just heard my tire just go boom. So it's just, I would like the streets fixed because they look horrible. We have people coming to our homes and they're like, wow, you guys live on an obstacle course. And we don't, we live on a street. So I just would like for it to be fixed.
Thank you, Ms. Roundtree.
My wife spoke earlier, Edward Campos from number 40 Montrose Lane. And to your point, sir, you said you're going to purchase a repaver, but it'd be nice if the township some way could reach out to us specifically in some manner. What the time, I know your engineering group is looking at the process, the budgeting and whatnot approvals. We would like to be informed, if possible, what that list consists of and the streets that you're looking at. And what more or less, I know it's not accurate, but a time frame of when the projects are going to be coming through in order, because I understand it's going to be priorities and so forth. Now, of course, ours is number one, and there might be others that deserve more attention. In the interim, the intersections that the residents have been addressing do need an attention, please. And it'd be great if you could put something solid, more solid in the interim before winter or cold weather sets in. We're having our inclement weather and, concrete, quick set, something that'll hold better during the next year would be mostly appreciated. And we'd appreciate it greatly. And if you could send out some type notification just to let us know, or if there's a way we can find out besides going on the app and looking and nothing's coming up, newsletter, neighborhood letter, we would appreciate it greatly. Okay, and thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Hi, my name is Lorraine Pratt. I live at 24 Pine Street, Rittenhouse. And I just want to go back to what Deputy Mayor Whitfield was talking about with the trucks. It actually is the responsibility to start with of the association to get all those trucks out of there. Okay, it's in our bylaws. No trucks, no trailers, no boats. Get it done. What happens is nobody can get a hold of the office in a lot of cases. It falls back on you guys. I apologize for that. Shouldn't be, you guys shouldn't get hit with it first, but it does. Now, with respect to Councilwoman Peron's comment about the pools. I grew up in Williamsburg. I've lived here since 1964. Okay, so every park had a school, had a pool, didn't pay. It was great. We're going to flip over to Rittenhouse. We pay $900 a year in dues. Our pool is still not opened. That's one of the amenities we were supposed to have. We don't have that, and we pay $900 a year. So I feel your plight there. I do, because I grew up where you got swimming lessons free. Okay. Adult swim, 1 hour a day. Toddler swim, 1 hour a day. It was a great thing. Williamsburg was a great town. You know, we've come against some obstacles here, some rough roads, but hopefully we'll get it back to the way it was. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pratt.
Good evening, Pat Lindsay Harvey, Hadley Lane. I'm a commissioner and chair of the board for the Willingboro Municipal Utility Authority. I just want to give you a little update. We've been really very diligent about trying to recoup some of the costs that we've had to incur trying to mitigate the well 5. So we hired an attorney and we filed suit, and we are part of the class action suit for the manufacturers of PFAS chemicals. So recently there was a settlement with 3M for, and I'm going to say a mere $12.5 billion, because I think that's a drop in the bucket for all the money they've made since the 40s. So we won't know anything until next year, how much the settlement is going to be. But because we filed, that's going to give us a low bump in what we'll get. And because we spent money already, that'll give us another low bump. So we're not sure how much we're in, but we're going to get something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay Harvey.
Good evening. My name is Joyce Roan, and I live on Mandolin Lane near the obstacle course. I concur with everyone that spoke about that, so I don't want to speak about it because they've already done it. My question is, you said the school board makes the decision about the taxes. Well, I would like to know, when will the school board be convening again?
Mr. Johnson.
Good evening, Gary Johnson, 54 Gramercy Lane. I was impressed by the data that were presented on the speed trailers, but being somewhat of a skeptic, I would have to ask, is it possible that drivers seeing the speed trailer drop their speed down below Mach 1 and then resume after the speed trailer?
Exactly what happens, exactly.
Something to consider.
That's what I've been seeing.
On another note, and I realize I'm an old poll gate, I gave up smoking decades ago, but I gather there's new things on the market for smokers. And I ran across an article that says that there's something called vapes. And they're supposedly illegal federally and statewide. But according to this article, there are places where they're being sold openly. And I just wonder, is the township aware of these things? And are we on the lookout to make sure that no place in this township is selling these things openly or even under the rug somewhere? Because I don't know what the dangers of them, I'm not really sure are, but if they're illegal, there's probably something that's not good about them. On another note, and I have brought this to the attention of township officials, but I was struck when I went for a pep step the other day to find that the sidewalks around my neighborhood are seriously obstructed. And in one case, there's a branch with a lot of thorns on it that can give you some serious cuts if you don't watch out for it. And my question is, I'm sure the township will take action to correct it, but how does this condition get? Some of these cases are along Beverly Rancocas Road, and that's not exactly a good, healthy place to be having to almost step out into the roadway to get around this brush. And some of it is overhead where somebody gigantic like me can brush their head against the some of the overhead. But how are these conditions existing? School is about to open, so I hope this is cleared before school opens, because it's not a good situation, especially because in some cases you're almost forced out into the roadway. And where Kennedy Way has a nice shoulder you can step on, Beverly Rancocas Road does not. So I would hope that something is done about that. And just one other one for the short note is, it's been brought up that we're going to have AED and CPR training. And I just went out and checked that we do have, which is good to see, bleeding control. And we also do have an AED. But if we had an incident in this room, and before the medics get here, how many people would know where to find the AED? This is something that's been stressed at work, and it is something that everybody should be aware of, knowing that if there is an emergency, just you say to somebody, go get an AED, and they look at you like, what? Where? But I mean, somebody needs to know. There needs to be a way of people identifying and finding the AED in case it would ever be needed. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Mack.
Jacqueline Mack, excuse me, Maplewood Lane. I have to say, first and foremost, I'm so happy to see the people from Moss Hill Lane. Good to see you. And sorry that it takes all of you to come out and report that, because I've been reporting Moss Hill Lane for 5 years. It's really bad. And I think, Mr. Harris, I invited you to drive down that hill one day. It was bad. I'm sure you saw that too. Now, I do think that it's on the agenda to be repaired, but when are they going to start repairing those roads? When was that?
In 2024.
Oh, not this year?
The project is under design and engineering. And the engineering designs will be prepared later on over the next couple of months, and they will go out to bid. But that project isn't going to start in 2024 because, like I explained earlier, road projects don't usually happen during the colder months of the year because that equipment, that material can only be laid if the temperature is above certain temperatures.
I thought it was on the list to be done this summer.
It is.
Some of the roads.
It's the project has already begun. So the engineering is being designed as we speak now.
Okay, I feel
And,
bad for them. Well, that's all right. I don't want to take my time.
okay.
But I wanted to say that the sidewalk in front of the Kennedy Center has been cleared out, the grass in the sidewalks, but some of the sidewalks are so broken up that it looks really bad. They should be put on the list to be done too. The planters on the parkway are very, very nice. They've been weeded. They look good. The new Keep Williamsboro Green signs are very nice. They're not as obtrusive as the others. Kind of remind me of the old Burma Shave signs, but I don't know if you're old enough to know those signs. Let me see what the other thing was. Oh, the striping and on Campbell Drive. I've talked about this before. Campbell Drive is in bad shape too. But as you turn from Veterans Parkway onto the drive, all the lanes have been worn away. And you don't really know which lane to get into to continue around past the Acme. And I was wondering if all the striping in town is going to be done in time for the schools to open. Because I think Kennedy Way and Veterans Parkway was bad at the end of the year too. So that's all. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Mack. Host, we can let people speak on the Zoom.
Okay, Sharon Anderson.
Good evening, folks. This is Sharon Anderson from 7 Bellhurst Lane. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Anderson.
Great, thanks. I mean, it will not surprise you at all that I'm speaking about the question about pets and how many animals there are. And forgive me, during that most critical part of the conversation, I may have missed something, but I do want to quote from our ordinances, chapter 99, section 99-6, number of animals per residential structure. No person shall keep, harbor, have possession or custody of more than 2 domesticated animals of the same type or combination thereof on any one residential premises within the township. So that is cats and dogs together. Your total is 2. And I think that I find that people struggle with that if they have both cats and dogs. So as you're looking at the ordinance, we do need to consider that. Edgewater Park, the limit on cats and dogs is 6. Burlington Township, it's 4 dogs and 5 cats. That's a little high to me. But towns like Burlington City, Delran, Mount Laurel, West Hampton do not have a defined limit. So we're a lot lower. And people who move into town who have a dog, maybe have 2 dogs and 1 cat, I just can't see us telling them that they have to give up a family member. So I'm very glad to hear that you're going to be looking at this ordinance. One other issue is that it also could be interpreted and is interpreted that cats outdoors that don't belong to anybody, if someone helps a cat, like if a cat is hurt, a community cat, it's not theirs, but they feel for it, it's injured, or they want to get it neutered to stop producing more kittens, then it becomes yours. So you got a problem if you're trying to help control the population through neutering and you have pets. You can't technically, by our ordinance, we could not have a trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return program. And I really hope that we take a look at that because TNVR has been shown to be more effective than trying to just trap and kill cats while they're still having litters. We need to prevent the litters from being born with cats that can keep cats from other towns coming in. Believe it or not, if we just killed all our cats, kind of a gross idea, cats would just come from the communities around us. So we really need a trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return program. But until the ordinance is changed, everyone's discouraged from that because it would count toward their animal count. Thank you very much. And Borough Pet Project and myself, and our members, we're all available to help with this review of the ordinance, and I hope that you'll involve us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
All right, Angelita Martinez.
Hello,
Yes,
can you guys hear me?
you can.
Great. Good evening, everybody. My name is Angelina Martinez, 57 Edge Lane. Today I'm actually speaking as a representative of the Willingboro Public Library Board of Trustees. First and foremost, I wanted to thank the council members and township leadership for your continued support towards funding library services and for ensuring that our capital needs are in the council conversations regarding both annual and capital budgets. I just really wanted to take this time today to speak about the many activities we have going on in the library, especially over the course of the summer. I know it's a summer who wants to be in the library, but trust me, it's actually very fun. For our children, we have programs with goals to have children read 1,000 books before kindergarten, which seems like a lot, but like once kids start reading, it goes by so fast. We also have fun little library scavenger hunts. We have summer learning challenges. We also have the pop-up mobile pantry program, the food bank of South Jersey. We have trivia nights, camping at the library nights, lots of fun activities for kids to enjoy. And library isn't just centered towards kids. We also have programs for adults. For example, this August, Thursday, 25th at noon, we have like a walk-in job search help kind of program where you walk in and we'll help you with writing and updating your resume. We'll help you with job searches, and they'll even practice interviewing techniques with you in hopes to help you prepare you for your next job interview. Later on in the year, the Burlington County Bridge Commission will also have staffers at our library to help residents learn how to obtain a small business loan for anyone who's interested in that. Later on in the year, we'll also have programs for Etsy for business. I know a lot of people make money online, have this niche thing that they just want to get out into the world. Etsy's a great place for that, and there will be a program to help our residents learn how they can start their Etsy business. The same for e-commerce training and even social media marketing for those who just want to get a little more tech savvy out online. And I just kind of wanted to talk today about just a few of these services that we have going on at the library right now and throughout the rest of the year. And of course, it's a lot of these programs are free to Willingboro residents. Our library is an incredible tool, an incredible asset to our community. And I just encourage everyone to come out and check out the library for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
All right, Beulah Williams.
Good evening, Mayor McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Whitfield, council members, Township Manager, Ms. Blygen, and our community residents. This is Beulah Williams from 8 Botany Circle. My heart hurts for Mr. Yosef, and thank God that there are empathetic people in Willingboro that will address his concerns. I want to congratulate or commend Mr. Harris, our township manager, the way he goes after those grants, and it's helping to defray our expenses in Willingboro. Good job, Mr. Harris. Good job, Mrs. Foster. I was so pleased and grateful to Senator Singleton as he brought $3 million to our township, I think, to help with the seniors that Mrs. Foster advocates for so heartily. She spends a lot of time advocating for the seniors. So that $2 million will go a long way. And then the other $1 million, I'm sure Mr. Harris will tell us how that will be spent. But my heart was singing as the check was presented, and it was flanked by our mayor, deputy mayor, Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman Worthy, our township manager, and I could see the big smiles on their faces saying, oh, $3 million more for William-Borough. And, so thank Senator Singleton for remembering where he came from and advocating for his old home. Praise God. When I say old home, I mean his original home, where he grew up. I want to share that on the 10th of September, the Willingboro Seventh-day Adventist Church again will be hosting its 5th annual health fair. We're waiting for approval for the venue from Mill Creek Park. But this is going to be so big because we have so many sponsors offering massages, screenings, and so much more. We're gonna have to have 2 pages of what is going to be offered. So, I hope that our community will come out, because this is for them. I'd like Mr. Harris to please elaborate on the ordinance. I think it was peace and safety. What does that entail? What for our community? Could you elaborate on what that means for us, please? Yeah, I think that's it, but I can remember. But I think I am proud of our township leaders. I think you're doing a good job, and just keep up the good work. May God continue to bless all of you as you work and do work as unto the Lord. May he just bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
You're welcome.
Great. Tarina Williams.
Evening, Mayor McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Whitfield, Council Members Anderson and Perone, Township Manager Harris, Ms. Blygen, and my community residents. Tarina Williams, 8 Botany Circle. I just want to express my love and appreciation for the moment of silence for my classmate and friend, Matthew Bear Williams, as well as for Lieutenant Sheila Oliver. May God bless and comfort their families. But I just love and appreciate the way our community cares for one another. And when anything's going on in the state, we take the time to acknowledge we're just a true wholesome family. When one hurts, the other one hurts. And when other one celebrates an achievement, we celebrate it as much as if it were our own, because we're a family. I want to say thank you for Mr. Harris's thorough report and the endless possibilities of the recreation and community service program. It's like, wow, what I wouldn't give to be a child right now. That's why whenever there's different events, I make a point of sharing it with my church, where there's a lot of youth and children. And then if and when someone moves into the area, after saying welcome to Willingboro, I make a point of telling them, make sure you download the Willingboro Connect app. So thanks again for the designers of the app. It's so on point and such a wonderful resource for all of us. Congratulations to Ms. Foster for the well-deserved grant for the Senior Center, and Senator Singleton for his love and support to his community, because like my mom just brought out, he makes a point of remembering where he grew up, and we greatly appreciate his hard work. I want to say also, let's see, for the back to school on September 2nd, I really appreciate that. Today I was watching Good Morning America, and they were talking about how much back to school supplies have been going up. So I cannot wait to share this with my church family on Saturday. Just so happens that this Saturday, as we wrap up Vacation Bible School, we'll be having our own back to school giveaway. So that will take place at 1 p.m., but more than welcome to join us. Tuesday nights are when our church hosts a special health talk on different topics at 7 p.m. via Zoom. If you go to the church's Facebook page, you can get more details on that in terms of the Zoom ID and meeting ID. But just want to say thanks again to everyone's dedicated service. There's too many people to thank. But one of the people that I can also thank is the Fire Academy. You just concluded the Youth Fire Academy, and one of our own church members, her son participated, and she gave it he gave it as well rave reviews. The great way of keeping the children and youth on the straight and narrow is to give them a lot of opportunities to stay engaged in positive activities that will help them learn and grow and keep them away from the things that will lead them astray. So thanks again to everyone. May God richly bless you and your families.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
You're welcome, Mayor McIntosh. Thank you.
Is there any other residents for public comment on the Zoom?
Not at this moment, Mayor.
Thank you. It is 8:59. Public comment is
Oh.
now.
I'm sorry, Shirley Dilworth.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Okay. I'm happy that you saw my name because I've been waiting for a while. I just have a few issues of concern. Okay. First, I'd like to say how happy I am to see that the Clean Communities Initiative is continuing. I like the green signs along the parkway, the ones that says keep Willingboro clean. I hope it encourages some more of our residents, not to litter. And I'm also encouraging everyone, okay, in attendance to the meeting tonight. If you haven't taken the pledge, please take the pledge to do your part to help keep Willingboro clean. And to do your part means maybe it'll inspire someone on your street. Also about the Clean Community Initiative, I was wondering, okay, is it possible to partner with the school board to make this kind of initiative a part of their curriculum? Okay, I'm not suggesting that students are the only culprits. As a matter of fact, I witnessed an adult throwing debris, okay, out of the car window. But I just think this could be a way for us to encourage our youth to grow in responsibility. So I don't know how that would look or how you would approach it, but I think it would be a wonderful idea, something that could be investigated. Okay. Another issue that I'm concerned about is, okay, how do residents, okay, deal with backyard rubbish of your neighbors? Okay, that's sort of a tricky area, okay? But if someone could give me some, directions, some suggestions in that area, okay, I would appreciate it. One other issue that I'm concerned about is the illegal parking at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School. Okay, it appears that a lot of residents in the vicinity of that school are using the public property, to park illegally, to park vans, to park transport vehicles, okay, on the property. Someone mentioned earlier about putting up no parking signs, okay? As that is being investigated, perhaps you could include the property of Martin Luther King School. I know it's school property, and I don't know if the township has, what the township rules are pertaining to school property. But if you could take a look at that, I'd appreciate it, okay? And lastly, this is about a residence at 47 Northampton Drive. This home caught fire back in the spring. It was before the school year ended. And I was wondering if you could give some kind of update on, when the debris is going to be cleared away, or when any kind of restoration, okay, is going to start on that property. Okay, it's very unsightly. It's been like that for a long time. Okay, so hopefully something can be done, soon. Thank you very much and have a good evening, everyone. And by the way, I forgot to give you my address, Newport Lane. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Dilworth. All right. There's no one else on Zoom, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, it is 9:04. Public comment is now over. We'll start off. Mr. Joseph, thank you for coming here and expressing your concerns over the taxes. I do understand that tax increase is a lot, ranging from $200 to $400 per quarter for a lot of residents. Yeah. So I do want to make sure we especially look out for our seniors and make sure any programs, or I know we have the tax freeze, I believe. So I just want to make sure that we publicize that a little bit more. To make sure, our seniors, if they have questions or concerns, Ms. Riva is always, asset for and advocate for our seniors. I know this new tax increase is burdensome for a lot of people. So I just want to make sure any resources that we can find or that are available now are put out to the public so that, in places where seniors can find them. So that they understand, what can be done. In concerning that tax increase, the council, we worked really, really, really hard to maintain our tax base. We did not, and from our end, we did not increase, our tax rate. But unfortunately, we don't have control over the county. Like I believe the county did increase theirs somewhat. Yes, and then the school board, they have the authority to increase it without our permission, without us knowing. We did speak to them. They are investing a lot into some infrastructure to schools, some recreation, and obviously the education. But I can't deny that it's not a lot. But we'll work with you to see what's what.
I don't mind when they keep on raising the tax, but at least the senior citizen.
No, understood. So we're going to address that. You're in contact with Mr. Eusebia.
Because my kids will never let me.
Understood. I mean, it's a big increase. They have their, we did speak, they have their reasons. It is a huge increase. But Ms. Reba Foster, Ms. Eusebia Diggs will work with you to sort it out for you. I want to thank the Millbrook crew for coming in numbers so that we're aware of what's going on over there. Unfortunately, the infrastructure was not attended to over decades. When we came in, this administration did understand the importance in investing in our infrastructure. And when we 2020, we did start the road robotics to take a infrared study of all the roads in Willingboro and prioritize them based on the magnitude of damage to all the roads. Unfortunately, some of it did get, some of the progress did get delayed due to COVID for a couple of years. COVID supplies, manpower, a lot of those things did, kind of delay some of the progress. And as Mr. Harris did say, there are working times that we can do. We understand that there is urgency. So that's why we did also invest in our road patcher. We're still waiting for that to be delivered, right? It's delivered. But in the meantime, we'll definitely, I know you did talk to DPW inspections. We will definitely be going out there, looking and making it a priority. And as Mr. Harris, I don't know if you have anything to add. I know that you said that's a concrete road. Okay, so there's a little bit of difficulty.
Yeah, the reconstruction is slated for a full reconstruction, which is a little bit more than just the overlay and
Mhm.
so it will be a full reconstruction.
Okay, and right.
Yes, and when
So-
we talk about the engineering, that's all encompassed.
Right.
Yes.
And also, since they did come in numbers, we just want to make sure we update them on possible timelines, understanding that, we don't have a definite date, but timelines. And I am curious as to where these streets fall on the priority list.
So that whole project is being done in bulk.
Mhm.
So all of the roads in that project will all be engineered simultaneously. They will all go out to bid simultaneously. They will all be reconstructed as part of a project. So it won't be this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. It will all be done as a massive project. So when that project goes out to bid, that will determine when the actual project will commence, which again will probably not be until 2024.
And Mr. Harris, is there anything that we can do in the interim to mitigate the damage to residents' cars and to help improve the obstacle course conditions?
Yes, and that's part of the reason why we're purchasing the hot patcher, so we can put down hot patch, which is a little more adhesive. It stays better than just temporary fill the gravel. So when our hot patcher comes, we've already had the conversation with our acting DPW director, who goes by the same last name as I do. But we are not related and I'm much better looking. But anyway, to get that underway, and I will make sure that we spend a little additional emphasis monitoring and making sure the holes on those streets are tended to.
You said it's the whole project is fine, I understand, but at the same token, the whole project is at one time, so we should have kind of.
So, and we can talk offline. I mean, for further clarification, Mr. Harris can be reached. On the, huh?
Yes, the good looking one, you got it.
You got a good number. Yep, so. I mean,
Sorry, Marvin.
talk- You could talk more in depth about that. But no, we do appreciate you bringing that to our attention. I appreciate you coming out and taking the time to make sure, your voices are heard. That's, what makes the government work. So, I do appreciate that. And you're our eyes and ears, you're part of our eyes and ears. So we appreciate you definitely, taking the time out of your Tuesday night to come and let us know. Ms. Lindsay Harvey, thank you for that update. That I know the PFAS is a big, heavy topic. I'm sorry, when's the next MUA meeting for anyone who has other clarifying questions about our water? August 16th, 6 o'clock, and it's available online meetings for the MUA. They're in charge of our water source. We did have issues with one well that had the PFAS, but it is a national chemical. It's not just Willingboro. They tried to make it a Willingboro thing, but it's not. But any other clarification, we have commissioners, and Ms. Pat Lindsay Harvey is, the head of I'm sorry, the commissioner, what do you, you're the head of that board. So any questions, please, contact the Willingboro Municipal Alliance Authority for any water issues. And their meeting is on the third Wednesdays of every month.
Yeah, third Wednesday of every month, so it's August 16th.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Roan, you were asking, oh, is she still here? She left. Yeah. So, The school board does convene. Any questions for the school board, even concerning the taxes? They do convene on the second and fourth Mondays at, I think it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. at the Country Club school. Mr. Johnson, you were saying that the vapes are like, I'm not sure. Is the vaping illegal? I know we do
tell you.
have some smoke shops.
Tobacco-based vapes are not illegal. They're sold and they're legal to sell in any licensed tobacco store. What you might have seen is there's also marijuana vapes, which were illegal up until when recreational marijuana became legal in New Jersey. So right now, vapes as a rule are not illegal. They do have, I believe, significant health issues related to them, which I appreciate, and I think the board or the council appreciates, but they're not illegal at this point in time, and there's nothing this council could do in terms of regulating them.
All right, and in obstructive sidewalks, what's the strategy for that?
So our inspections department has already started to give notice to residents to clear overhang. And our public works, they clear the major sidewalks starting in August. So we will begin those processes on our properties, notifying the residents of their obligations on their properties. And our inspections department, who has been very aggressive, will continue to monitor those situations and handle them accordingly.
Okay, thank you. And AED locations.
So the AED locations are right out here at the front entrance. As you walk into our building, the AED is there. The Stop the Bleed course is there. All of the township employees who work in this building are aware of where they are. The police are aware of where they are. Our EMS supervisor, our fire chief is aware of where they are. So I think it is I think anything that happens in this building, there are plenty of people who know where those are. And, we can put up a bigger sign so people walking by them can realize that they're there, but that's exactly where they're located.
Thank you. Also, Ms. Mack brought up our broken sidewalks. I know we did clear them out, but yeah, there are cracks on the around
Yes.
JFK.
So the sidewalks are just like the roads. There are in very bad condition. A lot of them are worse than others. We have rated our sidewalks, and again, we've been in conversation with our DEPW acting director, and we are beginning to identify which sidewalks that we are going to go out and begin replacement on this year. I know he has started one in particular, which has been a little problematic. Again, we are identifying the ones that we are going to go ahead and begin to repair this year, the more seriously damaged ones.
It's a real bad one because I do walking around my area. I don't like to drive during the obstacle course. And as I'm walking around Millbrook and
Ms. Compost, we can talk right after the meet. We can, yeah.
it's a sidewalk.
Sidewalk, okay. Yeah, so I just had to finish up the comments, no problem. All right, and then the striping, Ms. Mack, you said the striping on Campbell Drive and Veteran Drive?
So yes, the county has begun to restripe their roads. And we were able to piggyback off of the contractor that they're utilizing. And he came into Willingboro, I believe, Monday. And we did go around and look at some of our streets. And which ones are we looking at restriping, Mr. Lowry?
We're doing Campbell Drive. We're gonna do the crosswalks at Campbell Drive, the handicap spaces in front of the library, the stripes around the town center. We're also gonna do right out front MLK from here all the way down to Beverly Rancocas and the crosswalks along this road as well, and then the bottom of JFK.
And we're just waiting for proposals from the contractor.
Yeah, quotes should be coming in this week.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Ms. Anderson was just letting us know about, the stray cats and ownership. And Mr. Harris actually explained this to me because I was not aware, and I don't know how many residents are aware of the law when it comes to stray cats.
So when it comes to stray cats, the law kind of implies that if you feed that cat, then you take possession and ownership of that cat. And so, you know, when people go out and feed the cats, that's great. I'm not a lover of cats, but I don't dislike them either. But once you feed a cat, please understand that you become technically, legally kind of the owner of that cat, and then are thus responsible for it.
And that's a state law or a municipal law?
That's state.
State law.
What about birds? Is it the same?
Birds? That's a whole, that's,
Are they your birds?
Councilwoman?
Mine's
anyway.
And I appreciate the offer to work with us on the ordinance, the Borough Pet Project. I appreciate that offer. We will definitely contact you to run some things and get your opinion on that ordinance. Thank you for the update, Ms. Martinez, the library update. It is good to see so many things happening at the library, so many fruitful activities for our youth and our adults and our young adults. So thank you for that. Ms. Beulah Williams, you did mention that there's on September 10th, you had the 5th annual fair. I believe the past fairs were very successful. So just keep us updated on the, on when that goes through, or is it approved for the Mill Creek Park. Ms. Stillworth, thank you for the compliments on our clean communities. Thank you, Kevin, for heading that. You do a great job, and we definitely see the progress, and you're getting people excited. So we definitely appreciate that. And I am wondering, do we have opportunities to partner with our school district?
Yes, we are. We have options.
Okay. Because I would like to see that, just so, the kids do get in the habit of just whatever community they are part of, take care of it.
Not only with clean communities, but that also goes hand with recycling, so.
Okay.
Program, partner with the school board.
Okay.
And if I may say, Captain Bucks incorporated that into his youth academy, where they did
Yes,
actually
I
go
saw
out
that.
and clean up some streets in
Yep.
Willingboro. So,
Excellent.
Chief.
Push-ups. Also the legal parking at MLK School, I believe that would be, that would come under the school.
That's correct.
School property. We can reach out and just say something, but the onus is on them for the MLK School. And I believe that was it. Did I miss anything?
There was one ask from Ms. Williams to elaborate just a bit on
yes.
the peace and good order ordinance, and I know we talked about it briefly in the beginning, but if you could just reiterate that.
Thank you.
So the peace and good order ordinance just generally prohibits certain activities being conducted generally in Willingboro. It gives a definition of a public place being generally visible to the public view, including alleys, bridges, buildings, driveways, parking lots, plazas, sidewalks, streets open to the general public, etc. And it prohibits things like sleeping, urinating, and defecating in the streets, parks, or public places, prohibiting public nudity, and then gives the authority to arrest without warrant any to the police department any persons who are violating this ordinance and refusing to comply. Mr. Crook was very instrumental in constructing this based off of other towns that have implemented similar ordinances that have gone unchallenged. So he kind of felt that this would be a really good, solid base for Willingboro as well.
Yeah, the language of this ordinance is particular, has been tested many times and upheld by the courts as being enforceable. And I do think it's a reasonable in terms of the things that are being prohibited: urination, defecation, public nudity, obviously things that clearly affect and negatively affect the public health, safety, and welfare, and the courts have upheld this type of ordinance consistently.
And I also just want to add that This council is very compassionate to our unhoused population. This is not an effort to jump to just arrest anyone that is unhoused or struggling in that way. But we do offer services, support services, and resources at the library. We also have a number of organizations in town, like the Beloved Projects, that helps to rehouse that population and get them support that they need as well. So it's not a strictly punitive ordinance. We are looking to support the population, but also maintain order, peace and good order within our municipality. Yeah. Anything else? Council? Okay, we'll move on to council comment. Anyone have any council comment?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Want to thank the police department for a successful National Night Out. Thank the rec department for all their events, but the most recent one I attended was the Fun Day community event. I had the opportunity to defend my Connect 4 title against an 8-year-old.
The kids.
I won. I still retain the title. Want to thank Mr. Tunstall and his inspections department for generating the revenues he generates month after month after month. Keeps Mr. Harris happy. Ms. Foster, thank you for all your help along with Senator Singleton in securing the $3 million. Keep up the good work. I mean, when it comes to that senior center, you know, you got the money to build it. You got the money to renovate and you're still going on. So just keep up the good work and thank you so much. And Chief, I didn't forget about you. I didn't have the opportunity to make the graduation, but I heard you had a rendition of partial push-ups. Okay. I heard they weren't quite full push-ups. I don't know. There's a debate, but good job. All right. And that's it for this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Anyone else have any comments?
I just echo Councilman Anderson's comments. I have seen all of the different events that's going on, so kudos to the township manager and all of the employees that are involved in putting it together. Without you, there's no community. So from the bottom of my heart, I do definitely appreciate every department of what you're doing. It's well noted and appreciative. So thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. I did want to say congratulations again to the Youth Fire Academy graduates. I did have the opportunity to attend their graduation ceremony, and it is a true testament to pouring into the next generation and helping them to excel, build leadership skills, and equip them with the tools that they need to potentially save a life one day. So thank you to Chief Burnett and the staff at the firehouse for all of their hard work with that youth population. Also, good luck with our police department and the Youth Fire Academy that is going on. Both of these programs are very strenuous, you know, and really take dedication from our youth and our staff to put on. So thank you for all that are involved in that. I want to once again give my condolences to Bear Williams's loved ones and family, as well as Sheila Oliver's family and loved ones. It's a great loss for Willingboro. It's a great loss for the state of New Jersey. And I just want to remind, you know, as we are continuing to enjoy the summer, you know, keep in mind your neighbors who may not be having such a fun summer. Take care of each other, think about each other, and check on one another. A reminder to download the Willingboro Connect app. It is a wonderful tool that we launched this year to help to track the support requests and violations, as well as get notifications on happenings throughout the township. So reminding residents to download and register on the app. As well as a reminder for the Jazz Fest on August 13th. This is the 40th year of the Jazz Fest. We are so excited to welcome back our very own Adam Blackstone to perform with the release of his new album, Legacy. So we are so grateful that he found it not robbery to come back and celebrate here in Willingboro with us. I think that is all of the things that I had for tonight. Thank you for your civic engagement, residents of Millbrook, Montrose and Moss Hill Lane. It is imperative that we have residents like you come out and speak to us, engage with us, and we hope to continue to see you at these meetings and get more engaged in the township. So thank you for coming out. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I guess I'll echo everything everyone said also. But the summer is still going. We got a lot of events to interact with each other. Yes, while we're focusing on our infrastructure, the roads, we do want to actually make sure we mingle with each other, support one another, be a community and what community is. Thank you to our rec department, all the departments. I've been seeing a lot of different departments hold different events and collaborate on events. But these events, I think, are very important. We missed out on it, for the first 2020, 2021. And now we're getting back in the swing of things, of being a neighborhood and a community and interacting with each other. So I do appreciate that. And I do think it's very important. I think it's a very important investment. But I think everyone said everything already, but so have a good night. It's 9:30. Not too bad today. We do have executive session if you want to stay around. We may come out and vote on something. But we're going into executive session at this point.
I need a motion. I need a motion to go into executive session, please.
So moved.
Second, moved by Deputy Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Mayor McIntosh. Roll call.
Mr. Clerk, you can give the statement.
Executive session is, we're going into executive session pursuant to the exemption provided for attorney-client privilege.
Councilman Anderson? Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield?
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh?
Yes. I'll give you a call. Whatever.
next meeting's not until September, right? So we'll put it on for the first meeting in September, yeah.
And in the meantime, if we could review the draft of the bench ordinance, the amendment, this way we can bring it back for the amendment.
Yeah.
Do away with it.
So everybody's seen that, so let me know if you have any.
I make a motion, we come out executive?
Second?
Yes.
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 I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
nays? All right.
All right. Got-